It's with a set of heartfelt appreciation that on behalf of the ISO's leadership team, our board, and our staff, we welcome you to the ninth Stakeholder Symposium. I'm Tom Dowdy. I'm the ISO's Vice President of Customer and State Affairs, and I'll be your humble MC for the next couple of days. You know, we're so glad you're here, and we want to issue some special welcomes. There are 200 people in this room right now who've never been to the symposium before. You're about to see something that we consider quite special. There are 800 people in this room who have been previously, and I hope that you'll agree that this is a useful allocation of your energy. There are 8 people in this room who've been to every symposium, and to them we say, thank you very much. How about a hand for those folks? We consider this symposium one of our best forums for engaging with you. One location in which most of our customers are here. Stakeholders from California, Western states, the national level, and truly worldwide are here with us today. It's a place where we can talk about the most impactful issues, take stock of our current landscape, our environment, and then peek ahead to what's going to confront us in the next 5, 10, 30 years. The symposium is great for that, but it only occurs once per year. And our engagement with you all is much more frequent. I have some factoids for you that may be surprising. This year alone, leading up from January 1 to today, we've hosted 300 stakeholder calls and meetings. We've issued 1,300 market notices. Now, Steve, would you mind handing me that clicker so I can click through these graphics, please? Please don't throw it. Thank you. Now, I don't know what slide I'm on. I punched the button a couple times when you threw it, Steve. Thank you. Here's the point I'm trying to make. There's so much going on in this industry. And a number of you have asked us, please make it easier for me to navigate the ISO. Help me follow what you've got going on. Click. Boy, this is a technology-based organization, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go without a net. We've rolled out a series, Stacy, forward to the next graphic, please. We've rolled out a series of programs to try to make it easier for you to participate with us. One that I want to bring to your attention that I think is very important is called our new daily briefing. The daily briefing replaces getting 9 to 15 market notices per day. We don't want to be spammers. So go on our website and you'll find in the daily brief all market notices for that day, the calendar of upcoming items, our recent press releases, and new to the web. So your daily brief is the place where you can come into work and connect to the ISO across all those areas. We have a number of other touch points. Our app. Over the years, I've stood here and I've talked about the importance of connecting with us through our app and our Twitter. Our app is now at 22,000 followers. It grew 20% just in the last 6 months. And coming soon, we're going to have a new real-time GHG tracker and a real-time fuel generation mix tracker on that app. Twitter, we've talked about Twitter as one of our communication vehicles with you, both in steady state periods, but also in times of crisis. Our Twitter has doubled in the last 3 years to 11,000. You've seen me stand here many times beseeching you to join us in that Twitter environment. We have a newsletter. We know that communicating with our industry is important, but communicating with the rest of the world is equally important. So our newsletter, we call it Energy Matters, goes out to 3,000 non-energy industry people every quarter. That's tripled in the last 2 years. And then a few final factoids. Our website took 1.5 million views this year. During the Flex Alerts that we called over the summer, We had 37,000 views in one day. And on the day of the eclipse, 41,000 views. So this shows that our work, the encyclopedia of effort that we're all putting in here, is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's impacting an audience that's more than just this room. Stacy, would you go to the next one, please? Got it. We've got new parties, new entities, new players in the energy field seeking to become informed and to participate. We've got consumers taking a greater role in energy. We've got trade groups and aggregators seeking to uncover new business opportunities, and of course, new regional players. We've got foreign nations coming to try to hear what's going on in California and the West. Just this year, we welcomed 1,000 guests per month to our Folsom office, and we've conducted 200 tours, half of which included international visitors from 70 countries. So this moment that we come together each year, it is a chance to take stock of our environment. It is a chance to look forward, but it really shows that we're in the middle of something really significant. Big changes happening fast to a really big industry. And the waters we're navigating together, they've never been traversed before. Germany, Spain, others, they're on their waters, but we've got ours. So this really is an exciting period for our industry, and Steve will speak to this in a few minutes. My message is, we're really eager to be navigating it with all of you. So back to our event. In the spirit of sustainability, you're noticing that we are partially paperless. The only paper we gave you was your badge today. Your badge has your agenda, your Wi-Fi information, and of course, most importantly, your drink coupons. We have 2 business centers for you, one on this side of the facility and one over here. And we're live streaming. In fact, right now, probably several thousand people are connected to this event today. The technology showcase outside. Stacy, would you click over to that graphic with our vendors, our exhibitors? This is an important and popular part of this event. Exhibitors come here to display their products and services. They also help reduce the costs for all of us. So please join me in thanking these folks for being here with their exhibits. We have 5 panels over the next 2 days. Several distinguished presenters and speakers, the most ever amount of networking we've ever had. All of this comes as a result of the surveys that we send you after the symposium. Regretfully, one of our speakers has had to withdraw. Senate Pro Tem Kevin De Leon has had to cancel. As many of you know, he has submitted his name into the hat for U.S. Senate, the race for U.S. Senate, and he's got energy to apply there. So fortunately, we've got a number of other legislators and key staff here in his absence. Something new this year, we have, following the symposium, the first ever California-Germany bilateral conference. This is an effort to compare and contrast the experiences that California and Germany have had in integrating renewables and converting our economies to a low-carbon construct. The bilateral is not in this building. It's down the street. And we'll have buses back and forth. But I must caution you, just as this room is sold out, the bilateral is sold out. And that room only holds 300 people. So if you don't already have a registration for the bilateral, it may not be a good idea to try to run down there and crash the party. The CEC and the German ministry, economic ministry, are putting that together. The ISO has been part of the planning. We're really excited about that conversation, and Steve will welcome some of our guests here in a minute. Okay. Speaking of the CEC and more broadly, state agencies, both inside and outside of California, be thoughtful of your conversations. You'll be with commissioners and key staff who are involved in live proceedings, live citing cases. We are all under ex parte requirements in this room. So it's important that we take care of these policymakers by not crossing a line and talking about live proceedings. If you're not sure, err on the side of caution. Those leaders of those agencies will certainly will appreciate it. Okay, that's it for the setup. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. Let's get this event kicked off with some remarks by our CEO, Steve Burbrick.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to have an opportunity to engage with all of you and have a deep discussion about what's going on in our industry. I do, though, want to take a moment and just acknowledge some of the challenges that we've all been through with the tragic shooting in Las Vegas that certainly impacts some of those in this room, the wildfires that you've seen raging through the state, the hurricanes Irma, Harvey, and Maria, and we want to just make sure that they all know that our hearts go out to them as we gather this morning. So another year has passed. This is now our 9th symposium. It's hard to believe that they continue to come through. We start the planning, though, a year ahead of time, so they seem to overlap. But as I look at our industry, I marvel at the speed of change. From innovations in apps that control load to advances in storage, smart grids, microgrids, they're all growing. It really is amazing, too, how the industry has come together, much like all of this room is doing, to transform itself. When you look around this room, you're joined by 1,000 industry leaders who are committed to building a low-carbon model with unwavering commitment to reliability, but also a commitment to manageable costs. To many of you in this room, the symposium is an opportunity to take stock and chart new directions for the coming year. It's also an opportunity to thank those who are providing the vision and leadership to move our industry in new directions. In that spirit, allow me to introduce a few of the folks who are here. We have commissioners from the California Energy Commission, commissioners from the California Public Utilities Commission, legislators from California, officials from public utility commissions across the West, and interested parties, our Board of Governors, EIM governing body, my good friend Elliot Mainzer from the Bonneville Power Administration, and also a special thanks to Martin Schoppe from the German Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs. It's truly a pleasure to have you here today, Martin, and it's also a pleasure to be able to learn from the immense leadership that Germany is doing as they transform their own electric system. Much has happened since we last met. Of course, you all know the Western Energy Imbalance Market is now celebrating its 3rd anniversary, and it continues to grow. We now have 5 operational entities: Pacific Corp, Nevada Energy, Arizona Public Service, Puget Sound Energy, and just recently the Portland General Utility joined about 3 weeks ago, and they did a fantastic job of being ready and performing the cutover. We're glad to have them as part of the group. We also want to thank all of those who are helping build stronger partnerships across the West. We think this collaboration is truly important, and to put some numbers on it, this morning the ISO is publishing the 3rd quarter results from the EIM for 2017. To date, the energy imbalance market has produced $255 million in gross benefits, has resulted in thousands of tons of carbon reduction. Another 6 entities have expressed interest in the EIM. We think that's truly a program that depicts the value of regional collaboration. We look forward to its growth and are committed to building additional functionality and fostering new partnerships as part of the energy imbalance market. Within our own footprint, since we last met, we've seen significant renewable growth continue. We now have over 10,000 megawatts of solar, 5,500 megawatts of wind, and of course, thousands of megawatts of geothermal, biomass, small hydro on our system. Most of the time, we're able to exceed 30% in terms of load served on the system across all the hours. And this year, we actually hit 67% of load served from non-GHG resources. And if you throw in nuclear and hydro, the number grows to 75%. Distributed generation, though, most in the form of rooftop solar, is also growing. We estimate there are 10,000 rooftops a month are being installed. 6,000 megawatts of that is now on the system, and it could grow to 20,000 by 2030. When you think of that scope of growth, it's clear that distributed generation is going to be an important part of our energy tapestry going forward. You all know that we had an eclipse on August 21st, the Great American Eclipse. Our solar output on the ISO system dropped by 55%, or about 3,500 megawatts in just an hour. That doesn't include the roughly 1,500 megawatts of behind-the-meter solar that we saw reduced. And as the sun emerged, it ramped back in at 150 megawatts a minute. It was quite a challenge. Given that our system has more solar than anywhere in anyone here in the U.S., we think it performed pretty well. But we also didn't do it alone. The Western EIM helped greatly. When we needed it, we imported 650 megawatts of power. And then as the solar was ramping back, we exported 750 megawatts of power. And it truly showed the value of regional collaboration for reliability. The Public Utility Commission also did its part in its effort to give the sun a break for a few hours. Consumers played their part as part of that too. The ISO staff planned for over a year for this in our forecast and operations groups. And our customers and market participants were very helpful in helping manage the load for that day. It became a non-event, and I think it showed illustrated the power of cross-sector collaboration. The next eclipse is in 2024. So we'll plan to start that here in the next year or so. Just kidding, we'll wait till 2020 or so. Speaking more broadly, though, about collaboration, there's no doubt that our industry is going through significant, unprecedented transformation. The changes are happening around the world, but they're nowhere more pronounced than here in California. With the advent of new policies, growth in renewables and distributed generation, the rise of storage and other emerging technologies, but at the same time, consumers are making more choices about how they procure and use electricity. The pressure is immense on all of us in this room, and it's a call to action, which I think brings me to the next thing, which is the focus on regional collaboration. I think the ISO is a leader in incorporating renewable energy in the grid, and we're looking for continuous paths to maximize the clean energy while maintaining reliability. We remain certain that regional collaboration is one of the most effective and cost-effective approaches to meeting those goals. And California is not alone in this. Many states in the West have their own renewable portfolio standard. Oregon has a 50% renewable portfolio standard. Nevada is making strides. Washington State is making strides. It's emerging throughout the West. But we're going to continue to collaborate. We're going to build out the real-time Western EIM. We're going to work with policymakers and stakeholders to develop technologies and policies to deliver a clean, modern grid. We're going to enhance our market design to focus more on capabilities and less on capacity, to drive the right mix of resources and align our markets to the realities of the system. We now are on a path toward 50%, and I predict we'll be on a path toward 100%. It only seems smart that we keep our options open as we collaborate with the rest of the West. So let me close as we start and think about the dialogue over the next day and a half or 2 days. 3 major thoughts. First, I hope it's all clear to everyone in this room that our industry is in a rapid evolution. It is changing dramatically day to day, from decisions that consumers are making on their rooftop solar to power walls to additional policies associated with greenhouse gas reduction. These are tectonic changes, and we have to be agile and fast to respond. Second, transforming the industry is difficult. Many interests are going to have to find a new reality, and sometime entirely new business models. But we have to find creative solutions and make this win-win. And third, there's a great opportunity in this change. Electricity is more and more the dominant energy source, resulting in the need to electrify transportation and industry in general. An electric revolution is not just about transforming our grid. It's about integrating electricity with the rest of the economy as we strive to reduce carbon throughout. If we do this right, we'll have a low-carbon grid, not only a low-carbon grid, but a low-carbon society. I truly look forward to engaging with all of you over the next few days. Thank you all for being here.